Gamers of Reddit, what is your this dude forgot to turn off his mic moment? A group of 5 of us had been doing several runs in WoW and had been chatting it up the whole time about whatever. One woman's boyfriend came into her room and asked her if when she was done if she could look under his balls. He had a bump and didn't know if it was a pimple or a boil. He was talking about how much it hurt and itched and he tried using a mirror but couldn't get the angle right. She let him go on for about 2-3 minutes as we were all busting up laughing before she finally told him her mic was on. Happened to me a couple times, the ball thing, not the open mic. First time was an ingrown hair. That one sucked. Second time was cancer. No longer sure the ingrown hair sucked. OMG, this happened to me. My press to talk button was stuck and I had gotten up to feed the cat. I always sing songs for him as I'm feeding him and apparently my mic picked everything up. So when I got back on, my entire raid was singing about my cat and I was embarrassed as heck. I don't sing in public at all. I find it hella embarrassing. My boyfriend never has his mic on, but one of the rare times he was talking to a friend, his dad came around the corner to feed his sister's bunnies, her being away at college, and he sang the song he always sings, at the top of his lungs, when he goes to feed them. Bunny 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 boo bunny in falsetto. Kid on PC arguing with his mom because he didn't want dinner. I was so hungry, and his mom sounded sweet. Don't eat the mother. This was like last month on COD MW. Guy was on the phone with his bank accountant, probably, and he was saying his credit card info, social security, and a bunch of private info. Hopefully he's still safe. NOOOOOOMG, that's horrible, holy crap. Here we go, I have story for this one. So me and my friend, let's call him Ben, had a goal a while back to complete every achievement in Minecraft on the Xbox One. We put nearly 300 hours into the world and whenever we would play his girlfriend would always go on her phone to help pass the time. This one particular evening we were building my house, well more of a tower, and he starts placing random blocks in places they weren't supposed to be. I asked if he was okay and he said that he was fine and carried on building. As time went on his breathing got progressively heavier until about 5 minutes later I asked him if his girl was going down on him. What I didn't know is that he was in fact getting head and he was getting close to finishing, until his girlfriend heard me over the mic and started laughing and ruined the moment. I'm sorry Ben, but it's a lesson learned not to multitask. Obviously Minecraft is more important. Yeah, Minecraft is more important. Older sister was telling his little brother, our teammate, that is her time to play and she will turn off the console if he doesn't get up. He insists just this one match, please. No. I'm disconnected. LOL. Perfect Luca screams. So basically me and 3 other dudes on Discord. One was living with his parents and grandparents. His grandpa barges into his room and after mumbling something he yelled, "Pull down your pants." Dude was just wearing some dirty pants but we fully misunderstood the situation. I laughed so hard you don't even know. Not bad, but memorable. I get to my buddy's house, and he is playing COD. Has his headset on. This house is a work in progress, so every time I get there, something has changed. I walk into his gaming room and see he has made some modifications to the house and ask him about it. He proceeds to give me a lesson on construction fundamentals, building technique and the why. After about 5 or so minutes he realizes he was micked the whole time and he goes, "Oh crap." Someone chimes in, "Hey, so that was actually really interesting and all, but can you shut the frick up?" I don't think we ever laughed as hard. Hey, at least the kid wasn't a complete dong about it. I don't have any as weird as the ones here, but I definitely recall one time getting ready to pull a raid boss in WoW and hearing one kid's mother yell at him to take out the trash. The kid was 16 or something, and all 24 of us were like, "Nope, not pulling yet. Go take out the trash for your mom." I also have a friend who used to fall asleep on Discord after taking Ambien, and some of those conversations were hilarious, but I'm pretty sure he knows where I live and will kill me if I share them on Reddit. Make the sacrifice. I must know. Caught my friend jacking off on mic thinking he muted himself. I heard him groaning, so then I shouted no cooming in my party. It was the strangest noise, like 1,000 bananas being peeled very rapidly. Years ago, Halo 3. My cat was being unusually affectionate and cuddly. I killed a guy in multiplayer and was distracted by the cat. I start asking who has a fuzzy belly, who is my fuzzy girl, and it turned out the guy I killed could still hear my voice and he was having none of it. I wish I still has the XBL message he sent. He seemed really insecure about his fuzzy belly. I'm sure I've seen a Twitch fail where some guy forgets he isn't muted and does a lovey-dovey cutesy voice saying he loves his cat. I was playing Rainbow Six Vegas a whole while back. Got myself a few friends in, and also had a couple of stragglers. We were pretty decent as team. We'd not lost for a few days, although playtime had only been a few hours due to work. Anyway, these stragglers who joined got added to our chat. Talked strategy with them, they seemed alright. Two brothers from Georgia. We start playing, and we're abseiling down the roof, running through casinos, and everything is going well. Our squad are racking up kills, but one of the stragglers keeps dying. His brother is complaining. Guy who keeps dying grabs the briefcase and runs. We're calling to get him to come to the lift shafts, but he ignored us. Runs straight to the windows and gets taken out. Drops the case in a room packed with enemies. We can't get it in time. We lose. The useful brother starts complaining and muttering under his breath, then talks louder like we couldn't hear him before, and says sorry about his brother's mistake. We'll win now. We switch to defense. The useless brother runs straight out of the vault. Despite telling him to wait at the back stairs, goes and gets killed. His brother is mumbling again, clearly agitated. Now, the useful brother is defending the case. Anyone who gets past the 3 main defense points, he is picking them off and doing great. Case never leaves our sight. Despite the back stairs not being covered, useless brother sees someone in the case room. Decides to throw a flashbang. We all get blinded. Look around. Case is gone. As we're going chasing after it, the useless bro apologies. His brother says whatever, and in his mumble voice he seemingly thinks no one can hear says, "This is the exact crap that made me crap in your gym bag." The character of the useless bro stops dead in front of me as we're chasing the enemy. Then there's a loud noise on the other bros mic, followed by what sounded like the biggest B slap, open palm strike whatever I've ever heard. The useful bros character suddenly stops too. Me and my squad are laughing, wondering what's going on, as we lose the game, and on the mics we can just hear one of the bros crying, and then a mom shouting in the distance. That's a classic line if I've ever heard one. Laughed so hard, I woke up my dog. Thanks for this. Back in the Halo 2 days, a teen was getting yelled at to get off the game. He called his mom a bee and she responded with an butt whooping that sounded like a hyena getting mauled by 50 cats in a plywood box. The teen's kid brother got on during the beatdown saying, "Heck yeah, he never lets me play." Little man was actually pretty good from what I remember too. Butt whooping that sounded like a hyena getting mauled by 50 cats in a plywood box. I don't know how that feels like and would prefer to never know. Yelled at his new wife while she was asking for help with groceries and their 3-month son. We chose not to hang out with him after that. I've had this happen with the dude we used to play with, literally yelling at his wife on mic. We stopped playing with him too. Chillin' in a squad when someone doesn't have push to talk on and they start yelling at their family and occasionally letting out a giant scream from dying. Having to listen to their TV in the background, or when they aggressively snort and hawk phlegm. Bro, mute or push to talk, please. Was playing on XGO server. This squeaker comes in the server acting all tough, trash talking, mocking other people, etc. Now it's about 11 at night now, and we hear this kid saying, "But mommy, I don't wanna go to sleep, I wanna play II." We all started laughing our asses off and he disconnected. I love how I know the exact type of person you mean by squeaker. It's not necessarily him forgetting to turn off his mic, but him not being able to. It's been several years, and it could have just been a hoax, but it certainly shoom me up. I believe it was around the time of Halo 3. I had been on Xbox Live fooling around in Mapmaker with some buddies. One of them had been dealing with a rough home life, and often talked about his fear that his parents were into some trouble with people. Being kids, me and the other guy brushed it aside as just nonsense. But one day we are playing and we hear a loud bang from his mic. He is yelling for his mom, and then there are multiple loud bangs in quick succession, almost like someone had been shooting a gun on full auto. We hadn't heard him over the gunfire sounds, but when they stopped his tone of voice changed and it sounded more like a sobbing yelling for his mom. My buddy and I were in shock now, trying to find out WTF just happened. We could hear sobbing and he wasn't returning to the game. And after about 10 or 15 minutes of no contact from him, he just disconnected and we had never heard from him since then. Goddamn. Just today I was playing Modern Warfare and this guy on my team had his mic open. His phone rang in the background and he picked up to his wife talking about how he needs to get off his butt and go to the store. He led with profanities and ended with a fine B and went back to playing. I said into game chat, "So are you gonna go to the store?" Unfazed he said no. His wife needs to leave him, holy crap. Basically my friend always keeps his mic on and this one time I heard his parents arguing in the background and he literally screamed YAY 2 Christmases and then there was silence. LMFAO, if I did this when my parents were splitting I would have gotten my butt double beat. I was that dude once. Nothing scandalous, just embarrassing. You know how sometimes couples will be all sugary sweet, lovey-dovey to each other when they're alone, in a way that they'd probably not do in front of other people because it's so cringy? Don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about, people in relationships. Anyway, I had my headset on and was being a typical idiot with my friends. My then partner was nearby so I took off the headset, forgot to mute the mic, and commenced the instant transformation into this over-the-top cutesy lover kitten. You can imagine how much I wanted to crawl under a rock and die a few minutes later. That was like 12 years ago. I was extra careful about the mic from then on. I was playing WoW with a friend and he was teaching me the basics. My mom comes in my room and yells in the heaviest smoker accent possible, "What up lad?" She interrupted her sentence because I ripped out my microphone. My friend was frightened for a good minute, thinking someone broke into my house. Was playing a game after a few beers once and I was that dude. Me and the ex were talking crap around the house. We were weird, we broke up after she grew up and I didn't. Like really weird. We'd make weird noises around the house in a sort of ritual. Seagull noises, cat noises, paw, imitations of guns going off, etc. Here's what my group would have heard. First her making a cat noise. She had a really realistic meow. Then me gotta go help my partner with something followed by me trying and failing for some reason to drop group. Then her meowing getting more insistent. Then me making the shotgun sound. Then her abruptly turning the meow into a gurgle. Then a perfectly normal conversation about food except for a couple weird words thrown in. Then I heard snickering from the PC. I did that in a Discord chat except it was me meowing at my cat who was being whiny and needy but wouldn't come to my computer for attention. I realized my mic wasn't muted and my mates in the chat thought I was insane XD. Basically this guy during my game was saying we needed to finish it quick. His girlfriend was coming over. This was during a ranked game, so the guy didn't want to leave. It ended up being a pretty hard match. It was Dota, so it ended up being 120 minutes long. He started to flame everyone on mic because his girlfriend was almost here and we needed to end the match. Then we hear him apologize to his girlfriend because he can't leave, and then she says it's alright. She wants to see how focused he can stay. Thank God for the ability to mute people, otherwise we would have heard him getting his dong sucked for 20 minutes. He didn't stay focused on the game and we lost. The biggest lie here is someone playing Dota had a girlfriend. It was a video call on Zoom, but one dude literally turned his camera on, picked his nose, ate it, and then turned his camera back off, repeatedly. He turned his camera on and off repeatedly, too, and he completely looked like it was just some subconscious thing. Bet you he thought his camera was on and he was turning it off to go mine nose gold. A friend of ours had a full-on seizure while we were in voice chat. We just hung around for around half an hour listening to him breathing and making sure he's okay, and after he recovered and spoke to us a few days later we got info of family near him to call if it happens again. Crap was super scary because we all knew he's having a seizure but can't do anything and don't even know if we're listening to him die or not. That's scary, but you guys are good friends for staying, and I hope he's doing well. I usually play Sea of Thieves in the morning, and since my friends don't have the game I pick up with players from Xbox Live posts. Keep in mind I live in Greece and our time zone is semi-opposite with America's. In other words, my morning is a very late night to my teammates. This results in meetings with many interesting people such as drug addicts, and even a drug dealer once, or drunken people, or even I don't know, whatever. But my personal award would go to a guy who was pretty chill when playing and was sounding like he was fairly close to my age. I am 18. He was actually a pretty cool guy and we had fun for a couple of hours. Then at some point we heard a younger girl's voice saying that the baby has waken up again in a sleepy voice. The dude apologized and said he would be right back. Then he proceeded to sing to the baby until the baby slept, which I found rather cute, and plus there was nothing going on in game since we were in the middle of our journey, so the rest of the crew didn't mind either. And as a side note, the dude had a nice voice. Anyway, when he came back we were about to tease him, but the first thing he said when came back was sorry I had to put my son to sleep, which raised some questions cause the dude sounded serious and we all stood in silence cause like I said he sounded fairly young. Under normal circumstances I would ask too many questions cause I respect someone's private life, but the dude was very open about it, so me and another crewmate were intrigued. Turns out he was 17 and his girl, the voice from before, was 16. They had a condom incident and so they ended up with their 4-month son, but they were very happy about it. Some moments passed and crewmate number 4 was fairly quiet all this time and his character wasn't moving. We asked if everything was okay and got no response. But after a while we heard some snorting coming from crewmate's number 4 mic. We couldn't stop laughing and the next day crewmate number 4 admitted that the song made him go to sleep despite his best efforts. Don't know if this story fits the question, but it was one worth telling nonetheless if you ask me. That is adorable and heartwarming. He had a wireless headset and proceeded to have a wee. Then when I'm back clearly didn't mute his mic like he thought he had. Not exactly what the question was, but my friends and I were in a voice chat on our Discord server, and our other friend was in the AFK channel with the music bot playing thunderstorm videos. We joined that channel and started making thunder noises with our mouths. He didn't say anything, and we figured out he'd used the videos to go to sleep. He says going on the YouTube app will drain his battery, because his screen won't turn off unless he buys premium, which obviously nobody does. So my friend changed the bot to play 3 hours of Big and Chunky, and then we left. The next morning I got blamed because the guy who did it deleted it from the audit log. Your friend, if on Android, might like YouTube Vaxxed. It supports background play. I wasn't playing or watching the live stream, but during an iRacing event, NASCAR driver Kyle Larson did not realize his mic was on for the entire group, and therefore was being broadcasted via Twitch. Said, "Can anybody hear me? Hey, N-word." Very next day he lost his real life NASCAR sponsors and his real life ride. Bro, imagine losing your career on iRacing. Okay, so this one was actually on me. I first got COD 3 fro PS4 a while back, like I was a serious squeaker. So eventually I joined my first online match and was getting whooped. I kid you not. My mom was making tater tots that night and proceeded to yell, loud enough for my dinky little earbud mic to pick up, "Oh en yo at ta teaser AD." Not my proudest moment, but I still laugh at it. Hey, that's my name. Go for Team Owen. I've played a game with a guy whose kids were playing in the background. He kept telling them to relax, keep it down and whatever, more and more aggressively. At some point, it all just goes off and you could just hear how he slapped the crap out of at least one of the kids. Kids crying and screaming, tumbling sounds, dude yelling off the top of his lungs, skin getting slapped. Everything in game just stopped, and the rest of the team were just in shock. My friend says let's back out, and we do. I wanted to hurt this man so bad. I'd call the police. Was in a raid, and one of the healers speaks up in the middle of a fight and says, "Oh crap, I gotta go." Guild leader was understandably all, "What? Why?" and dude just responded, "Tornado." Dude forgot to turn his mic off, so we hear the sounds of wind in the building shaking in the background until the sound of wood cracking and the audio just going absolutely insane. Guild leader had to mute him at that point. The dude turned out to be okay, but we didn't find that out for a week or two after the event. That's some impressive internet that stays up as the house is cracking apart. Years ago, WoW was still only vanilla and raids needed 40 people. Our guild was quite tight with each other, even with about 60 PPL in it. so the jokes could get personal, but still have heart. One time we went raiding and in the middle of it, a guy asks for a quick break. Less than 5 minutes, he said. Raid leader said okay, let's have a short break then for everyone. Well, everyone went to the toilet and grabbed a drink and refilled the side snacks. All done well within the 5 minutes. Except that guy. He had his mic still on too. So suddenly someone hears something and tells us to be quiet. 39 people on TeamSpeak went silent and started to listen to the guy having sex with his girlfriend. All from start to end. And every one of us in silence, with the occasional giggle on certain moments. During they said the most cliches to each other. Things like how bad of a girl she is, deserving his C, how she wants him to go faster, deeper and so on. Plus the occasional butt slap OFC. After about 15 minutes he came back and we all tried to be normal. So did he. Our raid leader said he was late and he apologized saying that his mother called. We all laughed and he was at first confused, but understood what happened. He was very ashamed and we all had a good laugh. The extra part in this, we had a couple of minors in the raid and some of them came to me in the days after to talk about it. I was the oldest female in the guild and the mother of the guild as they called it themselves. They were confused of the cliches and name calling during the sex. So I had a lot of explaining to do. Hahaha Mayor you had to do sex ed in WoW. I was raiding Blackrock Foundry in World of Warcraft. We pull a boss and one of our hunters is standing there doing nothing. She dies and her mic comes on. All we hear is super loud moaning and gasping. She's quickly removed from the server and we down the boss. About 10 minutes later she rejoins the server and goes sorry. My boyfriend decided to frick me right before we pulled. Our guild master kicked her on the spot. Apparently this was not the first time it happened. Wolfkitty, if you're still out there, thank you for this story. Please tell me she has read it and will see this comment. Not in a game. I was at a church and the preacher didn't turn off his mic before going to the bathroom to let his butt explode. They're singing about Jesus and there's farts and grunts and sloppy plops coming through the speakers. Holy crap indeed. Was hosting a game of D&D via Discord and my wife gets back from work. She works late so it's around 11 PM when she gets back and wants to know if I'll be wrapping up soon. I apologized to my players and told them I'd be right back. I just had to see my wife off to bed. I explained to her that it wouldn't be long because none of them had actually figured out that the hostage they'd rescued was a plant for the BBEG and was leading them into a fairly deadly trap. I was planning on calling the session when they realized that they were about to be ambushed so that we could end on a cliffhanger. Turns out I forgot to mute myself and the players heard this whole conversation. They still blundered into the trap because they didn't want to meet a game, but the surprise was ruined and I felt a little bad. AWW man that hurts. Back when Fortnite was popular and everyone was playing it, me and my best guy friend played it all the time. It was when they just released playground mode. We decided to try it. I was the lobby leader and forgot to turn off the autofill option to fill the other 2 gaps. We joined, and 2 people were there. One was yelling at the other to shut the frick up, because apparently the other was jacking off. Before me and my guy friend left, we heard him moan a good few times. That victory royale is always an instant mega CM moment. I ordered a pizza while playing GTA V a few years ago. Forgot to mute my mic and reel off my name, address, card number. Got a message like a minute later from a random player informing me that my mic was in fact not muted and the whole lobby heard me. Little did you know you bought pizza for the whole lobby. I was playing with like a 12-year-old kid in a competitive match and it was close to Valentine's Day and this kid's brother starts yelling at him to make a card for his mom and the kid says no and starts telling us he's annoying and then his brother got mad. The kid left the game and we lost. Poor kid. I was in a Discord server and one of the voice chats was a music listening channel. Most of these automatically mute you as soon as you join, but for some reason this one didn't and I didn't know. And I was watching Peppa Pig, and the other person noticed. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.